Welcome back, our gals and ghoulettes.
Ooh, welcome back, our ghouls, our ghoulettes, our cryptids, and all of our friends in the in-between spaces.
We hope you're having a wonderful night. We're currently re-recording this, actually, our second take, as is now tradition, on March 2nd.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we are well into the year at this point. We have made it through January, made it through what is quite possibly the longest February it's been without a leap year, and we have made it now to March. It is the month of spring break, and it is now the second of our Florida duology of episodes. Welcome, our dearest listeners, to Florida Man.
I just wanted to mention we also survived the great iguana apocalypse.
We did. They were everywhere, listeners. Literally everywhere.
There's still one in the parking lot dead.
Ooh.
Yeah, they haven't gotten rid of that corpse.
We have re-recorded several episodes, and that iguana is still there.
Yes.
That iguana has staying power. Well, ish. Poor thing. So, before we get into Florida Man as a concept, as an episode, and a myth and a legend, we're going to talk a little bit about, why Florida? Specifically, why this focus on Florida in the first two episodes. So, just, how did you end up in Florida? Why are you in this state?
I was born and raised here.
Excuse me?
Against my will.
A native Floridian on a Florida-based podcast? Ave Maria y Madre de Dios.
I'm just hoping I'm not going to go extinct.
I think you're gonna last a lot longer than the iguana in the parking lot, girly pop.
I think so too, hopefully.
So mote it be, yes.
How about you, Lady Mel? How did you find your way into Florida?
So, I did the thing that a lot of northerners do, and that's get tired of the north and come down here. Mind you, this was in 2018. I got down here well before the pandemonium pandemic, so I had already started putting down roots with my husband before the influx of people came in here. So I'm not saying that, hey, those people get out. It's like, nah, man, I got here first, and I'm going to be here much longer than a lot of y'all are going to be, that's for sure. But yeah, I've been here 8 years already. It's crazy. Almost a decade.
And since you traveled into Florida, you weren't born and raised here. What do you love about Florida the most?
What I love the most about Florida. So my homeland is yet another mythical state of legend and infamy, New Jersey. And the thing about living in Jersey is everything is geographically close, but because of just how crowded and populated Jersey is, it's impossible to get anywhere quickly. Here in Florida, my husband Eddie and I have been able to create an actual community. Like, we see you and Migs all the time. We see a few of our other friends who live within the same town regularly. So we don't have to, stat out, hey, I could see you maybe in about 6 months on this day, and if it doesn't work out, we'll try again in another 6 months. Like, no, we can just kind of text each other like, hey, you want dinner? Yeah, I'm free at this time. And we can just see each other. And the ability to build community is something that I really adore about being down here. What about you?
Ooh, that's a hard question for me. I think what I love the most about Florida, mind you, I've only been to like 3 other states, which was Tennessee, New York, and Georgia.
Hey.
I love the scenery in Florida, and I don't mean the palm trees, things like that. No, it's like you go from Hialeah, Miami, up, and everything changes. Architecture, everything. So, because I'm so used to almost like the whole Hispanic inspired buildings that we have here, along not just with that, because Opa-locka is actually inspired by the Middle East.
No way.
Yeah. So when you look at their buildings, and they're historic buildings, it's based mainly in the Middle East because those were the immigrants were there. And that's how they built up Opa-locka. And then you have like, you go outside of Miami, you go outside of Fort Lauderdale, you start seeing different things. And then I love going, when we visit new cities within Florida, going to the historic district and seeing how different that is compared to the modernized city.
That's way cool. Yeah, I haven't been able to see a lot of Florida just because, again, we got here in about 2018, then things happened, and it got very expensive to travel frequently. So, there's plenty we want to see. Like, we haven't been to St. Augustine yet. Like, things like that we absolutely want to check out.
Oh, we need to make a trip up there. I haven't been there.
Yeah, no, things have to happen. So, something about loving a place is you accept it for what it is, flaws and all. Is there anything about Florida specifically that you wish was different or would change?
I think our governor, as much as we complain, he does some good for the state, he does some bad, because no politician is ever clean. And the issue there is some of the laws he has tried to pass or has passed affect women very greatly and very badly. But then there's other laws that he has passed or policies that have helped the people. Like right now, the Reform Act for the insurance companies, meaning insurance companies cannot charge or technically earn above a certain pay amount. And if they earn more than that amount, they have to give back to their customers.
Hey.
And it's a credit. So that's actually awesome that he did that. And that was voted in 2023. It came into effect 2026.
I remember that. Like, I remember that being on the ballot. And yeah, like, I sure wish that, good things could be given to us without, being wrapped in a lot of garbage. That'd be super cool.
Yes. Did you remember? This is a really old ballot. Do you remember the ballot where it's like, hey, we're going to ban vaping in stores, but you have to let us be able to dig oil in our natural parks?
Bro, I remember that.
I didn't know that.
And it's like, what do those two things have to do with each other? That's ridiculous.
They have nothing to do with each other.
You speak my mind on that one for sure. And for me, I've got like a serious answer and a non-serious answer. And the serious answer is I wish like people in Florida, and I don't mean like Floridians native, I mean like just there's something that I've noticed coming down specifically to the South Florida area, and it's that there's a lot of emphasis on style over substance. And like you see a lot of people with like going after the influencer life, like renting out the Lambos, and it's like, yeah, that's all fancy and stuff, but like you're kind of missing a little bit of soul sometimes. And especially with like how gentrification is happening in a lot of these neighborhoods, you're losing some of those cultures and some of those milestones that you mentioned earlier. And I don't want to see that stuff go away, especially for like trends that aren't going to be hot in 10 years.
I completely agree with you there.
And the less serious answer is, oh man, the drivers.
Yep, I see it. Especially those that aren't native to here.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like a bunch of people from Jersey came down here and decided to play Grand Theft Auto. Crazy.
At least we respect the Texans that are here.
I've yet to see them. And the ones I see more, well, not as often these days, but the Quebecois I see sometimes. And that's usually between January to April is when they just take over the roads.
I know, like, I always get so confused. I'm like, why is Quebec over here?
It's warm, babe. It's cold up there in Canada. The only thing heated there is the rivalry.
Ooh.
I know. So, hidden gems. Someone is new to Florida. They haven't been here yet. Where do you take them?
I'm taking them to Vicky Bakeries.
Dime todo. Tell me more.
And I'm taking them to the, not original store, but one of the ones that have not been changed by the owner's children.
Ooh.
And I want them to have that experience. Because those croquetas that they have, I swear in our Lord and Savior, Pippo.
In the name of the hotel, the motel, and the Holiday Inn, Dale.
One of the best. And I'm not talking about the thick ones. They're big, thick ones. I'm talking about the small ones, the party platter ones.
Look, whether you like them big or thick or that small and good for a party, the croquetas hit.
They do. They do. What about you, Melanie? Where would you take them?
So I have two answers this time. First off, the Palacio de los Jugos, in keeping with the theme of delicious Latin and Cuban food, especially. We have taken friends to Palacio de los Jugos, and Let's just say that they still don't know how they fit all of that rice into styrofoam to this day. We were just watching the lady like spoon rice into the styrofoam, and my friend was like, "No, I think she's running out of space. Is she gonna stop scooping?" And I'm like, "No, no, she knows, she knows." And it was like I think 6 scoops of rice into styrofoam. And mind you, there was room for like maduros and pork too. Like there was all kinds of food in there. That plate fed 4 people, and there were still leftovers. It was a good day. And the second place is Collie Square.
Collie Square.
Do you know about Collie Square?
Where is it? Give me a geographic.
It is down by like, the zoo area between like the zoo and Kendall.
Zoo Miami?
Yeah.
I don't think I've been there. I've been to Dolphin Mall.
So Collie Square is basically this renovated railroad village from the 1800s. Like all of the old houses are there, and you walk around and now it's like antique shops and like a bookstore and like a little spa, like in restaurants. And there's a really cute place that Eddie and I love called the Collie Square Tea Room. And you go, you have your afternoon tea in like one of their thematic rooms, and they're home to many feral cats that like the property. And one is one I refer to as the gentleman, and he's this like older Russian blue that likes to hang out and greet customers. I haven't seen him in a minute, like since in the last visit, because he was a little older, so I worry he's passed away. But when you go, you'll see many other cats on the property and get to have tea with them.
Miss Ma'am, you do know we have to go now, right?
Oh yes, absolutely.
We're definitely going. We'll dress up little Naya for that.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm going to get into it. I do have a moving story, but I'll get that later. That might even be a blooper, but we're going to get into the meat and bones of this episode. And the meat and bones has to do with a specific case with regards to why we see so many Florida man headlines. And we're going to start with the case of the Causeway Cannibal.
Causeway Cannibal. I don't remember that one.
So I'm going to set the scene for you. It is late spring of 2012. People are obsessed with K-pop, just much like these days, only the song is Gangnam Style and not Golden or Your Idol. The first Avengers movie is dominating the box office. The Beehive is abuzz because Beyonce just had her first baby. And in sunny Miami, Florida, Ronald Popo is getting his face eaten off.
Just his face?
Things escalated a little bit, but, we're going to get into the incident as we know it. So, it's the morning of May 26, 2012. 31-year-old Rudy Eugene drove to Miami Beach, Florida for Urban Beach Week. So, I've only ever heard of Ultra Fest. Have you been to Urban Beach Week? Because I haven't been to that.
I haven't been to it. I've heard of Ultra.
Like, I wonder if this was the last one that happened for reasons we're about to get into, honestly.
You know what? I think so. I think I keep clicking in. I think being associated with having someone's face eaten is not a good look.
Unless you're a Resident Evil game or a George Romero movie, no, not really. So, after about spending 30 to 40 minutes at the site, as filmed on security video in and around the car, he abandoned it around noon and began to cross the 3-mile-long span of the MacArthur Causeway, stripping himself of his clothing and disposing of his driver's license as he advanced westward, according to eyewitnesses, one of them being a friend of mine. She was there that day.
What state of dress did she find him in?
She didn't mention he was naked, but she did mention that he was like shirtless. So this is probably about halfway through. And she remembered watching that happen and being like, Florida, and just stayed in her car waiting to go.
You know what? Very sensible.
It's so when you see something like that and, you're not sure what to do, protect yourself, protect your energy. Don't go after the Florida man.
He's not one that you can fix.
No matter how much you may want to. His vehicle was eventually discovered and towed by Miami Beach police. Inside the car, police discovered a Bible and 5 empty water bottles, which they believed had been recently consumed.
He stayed hydrated.
He did in fact stay hydrated. Look, if you're gonna do some crazy shit, it's important to hydrate. Preferably, maybe you shouldn't be doing the crazy shit, but hydrate nonetheless. Water's good for you. So Eugene, who eventually became completely naked, discarding even his shoes and his Bible at the crime scene, encountered 65-year-old Ronald Popo at approximately 1:55 p.m.
Do we know if they were, knew each other or anything like that, or if it was something random?
It was first believed that they didn't know each other before their encounter. until a follow-up publication that July revealed that Eugene had met Papa while working for the homeless community of Miami.
Huh.
So they had encountered each other before. Whether or not Eugene remembered due to the state he was in, that is, we don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So Papa had been lying underneath the elevated Metro Mover viaduct when Eugene began to pummel him, strip him of his pants, and bite his face.
Why was he taking off his pants?
I guess maybe he didn't want to be alone in the nudity. I don't know. There are many unknown factors to this attack, not the least of which is why he had to be naked to bite someone's face and why he also had to be pantless.
If you're gonna use your kinks, please get consent first.
Always. The attack unfolded at the west end of the MacArthur Causeway, near the headquarters of the Miami Herald in the Arts and Entertainment District of downtown Miami. So, that's the newspaper down here, which means that they just had a front row seat to the unfolding story.
They got the scoop very fast and fresh.
Like literally right there. A passing cyclist, Larry Vega, came upon the scene and alerted authorities via 911. And a few minutes later, Miami Police Department officer Jose Rivera arrived, and after doing a double take at the spectacle, because what else are you going to do? I too wouldn't believe this was happening, warned Eugene to desist from attacking Papo. So, what do you think Eugene did? Mind you, he is naked, trying to get the pants off of this man whose face he is chewing off, and the cops are telling him to knock it off.
I'm just trying to assume what police officer Rivera is trying to tell him, trying to de-escalate. Miami cops are not known to de-escalate, and this is a sad truth. But the fact that this cop tried to de-escalate as someone was getting their face bitten, and he probably doesn't know is like, is this a sexual thing? Is this an attack? I don't want to get involved.
I'm not sure
there.
they covered this in the academy, dog.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did.
I'm assuming that Eugene continued to try to take off the pants of the man he was very obsessed with at this point.
So he ignored the officer's warnings, true, and instead reportedly growled at him and then resumed to biting the victim.
Is he a dog?
In this case, he might be. So the attack itself ended at 2:13, with Officer Rivera shooting Eugene once at first, which proved ineffective, and then another 4 times. The ordeal was captured by a security camera on the Miami Herald building. So, yep, that's firsthand evidence right there.
Lord.
Surveillance video shows that the attack continued for 18 minutes before help arrived. So before, that was really handled, like that had been going on for a while. And now this supposedly happened because of bath salts.
It's that case?
This is in fact that case. So here's the most ironic part about this specific case. Now at the time, Rudy Eugene's behavior was attributed to being high on bath salts. When the toxicology report on him came back, he had trace amounts of marijuana in his system, but not much else. What has been referred to as the bath salts incident in pop culture for years didn't even include bath salts.
But wait. Marijuana doesn't make you bite other people's face off.
Look, as far as any of us can tell, Rudy Eugene just really wanted to eat his face off, like Mr. Papo's. And you have to understand, people have been making fun of Florida for years because of this case and the bath salts, to the point where it was even a one-off joke in dispatch. Yep, there is another dispatcher who is not Robert Robertson, who is known as the Florida Man, and Blonde Blazer says, hey, stay away from the bath salts, which he says, I can hear that because Florida Man has advanced hearing.
Lords.
Now, we know what some of you listeners may be thinking. You hear high on bath salts and you wonder what Lush or Bath & Body Works this guy went to and what not to buy there. So the thing is, when we say Rudy Eugene was high on bath salts, that's referring to a literal drug with that street name. Now, this is the part of the podcast where Mel is going to butcher some scientific names. The best takes are going to end up in the podcast. The butcherings are going to end up in the bloopers. So my little drinking game to some of you listening is try to guess how many times I had to say something. And if you get it right, you take a shot.
You got to stay to the bloopers for that one.
Bath salts, also called psychoactive bath salts, PABS, are a group of recreational designer drugs. The name derives from instances in which the drugs were disguised as Let's guess.
Bath salts.
Bath salts, that's right. The white powder, granules, or crystals often resemble Epsom salts but differ chemically. The drug's packaging often states, not for human consumption, in an attempt to circumvent drug prohibition laws. Additionally, they may be described as plant food, powdered cleaner, or other products. Now, we're getting into the names, the scientific names now, and again, direct from us to you, be safe, be healthy, don't do drugs. This is not this podcast telling you to do drugs. This is simply giving information on what these drugs are. Don't actually do them.
We are your modernized DARE community now.
Yeah, except we actually work. Bath salts usually contain cathinones, typically methylene-deoxypyrovalerone, MDPV, also known as monkey dust, although this term can refer to MDPHP as well, methylone, or methadone. However, the chemical composition varies widely, and products labeled with the same name may also contain derivatives of pyrovalerone or pyprodrol.
I think you got it.
I think I got it, okay. In Europe, the main synthetic cathinones is methadone, whereas in the United States, MDPV is more common. I am so glad they gave me the letters for that one. So, pharmacologically, very little is known about how bath salts interact with the brain and how they are metabolized by the body. Scientists are inclined to believe that bath salts have a powerful addictive potential and can increase users' tolerance. They are similar to amphetamines in that they cause stimulant effects by increasing the concentration of monoamines such as dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine in synapses. For those of you playing along, be kind to your liver and drink some water. Don't forget to hydrate.
Remember to follow Eugene's example on staying hydrated, not biting off people's heads or faces.
You're welcome. They are generally less able to cross the blood-brain barrier than amphetamines due to the presence of a beta-keto group that increases the compound's polarity. So we are not going to tell you how to take those because, again, we are not the podcast telling you to do this. We are the podcast telling you not to.
We're not endorsing you to take the drugs.
And if you did, you would have side effects such as a headache, heart palpitations, nausea, cold fingers, hallucinations, paranoia, and panic attacks. So it was probably thought that because the face eating was likely a result of a hallucination or paranoia that they probably thought that bath salts were a part of it. No, that man just wanted to eat someone else's face off.
Listeners, and also, if by chance you find yourself doing any types of drugs, if those drugs cause an erection lasting longer than 4 hours, please go see your doctor.
Please do. Please. It's literally priapism. It comes from, ancient Greece. It's a real thing. Go see a doctor. Now, key thing about this story, other than the horror of having one's face eaten off and the thing to blame not actually being a part of it, is that this story is the example of a meme that has become known as Florida Man.
Oh, gosh.
Mm-hmm. So in addition to being the originator for the rumor that bath salts are a thing here, it is also the originator for one of the most infamous headlines in modern times. So I call this part of the episode A Sunny Place for Shady People. Florida has a bit of a reputation in the United States for being the state with all of the more colorful personalities in the country. A lot of those personalities have often appeared in headlines that, like the aforementioned Causeway Cannibal, are pretty attention-grabbing and sensational, like any good news headline is supposed to be. Journalism, like everything else in the States, is a business, and one that has struggled a lot, especially in recent years. So writing something quick, scandalous, and to the point is usually a surefire way of getting eyes and clicks. Let's be real. There are 50 states in this country, and a few territories, and at least one Commonwealth. It's not as if all of the weirdos are specifically segregated to Florida. So why do we never see Nevada Man, or California Man, or Indiana Man in the same fashion? Why do you think it is that we see Florida Man so often, but never really any of those other states or commonwealths or territories?
Do the other states have other things more important to report about?
Probably, gotta say. That said, there is a surprisingly legal answer, and it has to do with Florida law itself. So the Florida Public Records Law states, it is the policy of this state that all state, county, and municipal records shall at all times be open for a personal inspection by any person. And that is Florida Statute Section 119.01, written in 1995. So the statute expansively defines public record to include all, and this is the part that's going to make me sound like side effects in a pharmacy commercial, so bear with me for a minute. Documents, papers, letters, maps, books, tapes, photographs, films, sound recordings, data processing software, or other material, regardless of physical form, characteristics, or means of transmission, made or received pursuant to law or ordinance or in connection with the transaction of official business by any agency. Florida Statute Section 119.011, also written in 1995.
Well then.
Common side effects also include death. That's not actually in the statute. We can cut that part out.
No, we can leave that in.
With equal breadth, the law defines agency as any state, county district, authority, or municipal officer, department, division, board, bureau, commission, or other separate unit of government created or established by law, and any other public or private agency, partnership, corporation, or business entity acting on behalf of any public agency. Florida Statute Section 119.001. Guess what? Also written in 1995. 1995 was a good year for Florida statutes.
And I love that this all came out after I was born.
Yeah, which means, oh man. Yeah, no, this, yeah. I forget how young you are sometimes, Spooky.
I know.
Going back to 1905, before the law was formalized, Florida courts have held that it is not up to the government to determine the use to which a person might put public documents once copies are received. So it's long been Florida state legal tradition that public records should be available to the public, by which they mean literally anyone. Like, you and I could go and ask for an arrest record and be given it.
You know what? That makes sense because whenever I have to redo my background for my day job, I notice that they don't confirm my identity.
No.
They just ask me the reason why I want that information, and they ask me for the name, age, and race, and the reason why I need it. And then they'll give it to me.
Yeah, and you are legally entitled to that in the state of Florida, thanks to all of these laws. So for all of us non- and armchair lawyers, what all that means is that public records in Florida are especially public, to the point that information that is under ongoing investigations is easily accessible to anyone at any time here, even before all evidence is gathered, accounted for, and corroborated at times.
Real quick.
Yes.
To jump in. Apparently there is a way around it.
Oh, go on.
Remember how I sent you some videos to like get confirmation? Hey, Fort Lauderdale may have a serial killer on the loose.
Yes.
Apparently there wasn't a serial killer, but it is under investigation, and the main officer I think it was the head chief, legitimately stated it's under investigation. There will be no further reports until investigations have been concluded, because this is a closed, it is a very hectic case, and when you find out what's going on, because it's across,
across jurisdictions.
Not just across jurisdictions, it was happening across Florida.
Oh.
So it just wasn't the Fort Lauderdale, it was in Sarasota too.
Interesting.
So they have to work with other police departments.
And you know what? You can't ask for records if there are no records to ask for.
Yep.
That is some fake court shit if ever I've heard it, but that's modern problems require modern solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And so because the majority of the rest of the country doesn't have their public records laws written like this, that's a big reason why we have as many Florida Man headlines as we do. Not because we have more weirdos, but because more of what they do is easy for anyone to access and report on here.
Yeah, makes sense.
Unless, of course, they don't write them down unless, of course, they don't have records in the first place.
Yeah, it's still freaking under investigation.
So, as a way to wrap up this episode, Jess and I have decided to play a little game. We are going to play Two Truths and a Lie with Florida Man headlines. The catch is, because Florida Man headlines are as, odd as they tend to be, we're trying to make guessing the lie out of the three a little difficult, and at least more than a little funny. So please feel free to join the journey and keep track at home which ones you guess correctly as well.
All right, Lady Melanie, would you like to start with your first round?
Oh, I would love to. We are taking it back to the year 2014. All of these are headlines. One of them is not real. So, headline number 1 from 2014. Florida man accused of killing ex-reporter, stealing $100,000 in Magic the Gathering cards. Headline number 2. Drunken bicyclist arrested at Florida Taco Bell drive-thru. Headline number 3. Florida man arrested for stuffing Iberian ham in pants at Walmart. Police.
Okay. Surprisingly, the first one could actually be legit, just due to the fact that when I was searching my headlines, I saw some very heavy-handed ones.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with the second one. I don't think it was a bicycle.
The correct answer was the Florida man arrested for stuffing Iberian ham. It was beef tongue.
God dang it.
I don't know what Walmart you're shopping at, but whichever one has Iberian ham on sale, it is either like the luckiest ham or should have been thrown out. I worry.
I'm worried very too much as well.
All right, my friend, it is your turn.
We are in the year 2024. Prepare your britches, Lady Melanie.
Rich is prepared.
Florida woman stormed the Capitol in a scuba mask. Searched for the bathroom. DOJ. Florida man saves neighbor from jaws of 11-foot gator by hitting it with his car. Florida man arrested while trying to rob a Walmart with a foam sword.
Those all feel very real. Not gonna lie. And I've worked Ren Fair long enough to understand that people will try to put swords in unswordly places. So I feel like that one's real. And I feel like the gator is a bit too hard on the nose. I'm gonna go with the first one, the lady and the mask in the Capitol.
That happened in the raid of June 9th. It was a real...
Oh God. What was the fake one?
Florida man arrested while trying to rob a Walmart with a foam sword.
No! Ren Fair, you have led me astray yet again.
It happens.
Happens. All right, we're gonna take it back to 2016. Florida man found passed out on a pontoon boat once was TV news director, friend says.
Huh.
Florida man wondered whether his flak jacket worked, so his cousin picked up a gun.
What?
Police. Florida man steals ambulance with EMT inside.
You know what? That sounds very fucking possible. I'm gonna go with the first one. It probably wasn't the news reporter. It was probably somebody else in the news.
So you are correct. He wasn't passed out on a pontoon boat. He was naked at a park.
Oh, well then. Listeners, make sure that you're putting in your answers in the comments. We will be double checking you on them.
Mm-hmm.
We are now in the year 2025.
Oh, wow.
Are we ready?
Ready as we're gonna be for 2025.
Florida woman demands school board to allow her pet gator to attend preschool. Florida man tries to flee deputies on riding a lawnmower. Florida burglar calls 911 to get help moving stuff.
Man, I feel like I've seen the riding lawnmower one in action. I'm gonna go with enrolling the gator in pre-K.
You got it.
I hope so. Listen, I am a former educator, and I've seen some things go down. That would terrify me. We're tied.
We are tied.
Oh my goodness, a tiebreaker, folks. Let's find out.
Are you listeners tied with us?
We'll find out. Okay, 2019. Cassowary, a rare emu-like bird, attacks and kills Florida man, officials say. Florida man arrested after witnesses said he practiced karate on flamingos. A Florida man let it all hang out at a strip club, dancer says. He wasn't part of the act.
I think it's a cassowary one. I had a feeling it was an emu.
It's first on my list, but I switch him around. It was a Florida man doing karate. It was on swans and not flamingos.
Gosh dang it.
I feel like the flamingos would kick back really hard.
I believe so too. All right. We are now in our current year, 2026.
Oh, how many headlines did you have to sift through to find, your 3 for this?
Quite a bit, because most of them, and I'm gonna be honest, were very dark. I was trying to mainly find humorous ones.
Yeah, that sunny place for shady people.
Yep. We have Florida man dressed in a red lace bra accused of hiding gun under prosthetic silicone breast. It was ugly.
Dang, Pookie.
Florida woman pays pole dancers to distract officers to rob a Bank of America. Florida man stopped in Alabama with 81 gallons of moonshine, police say.
Dang, I feel like the moonshine one happened. Oh, so the first one was prosthetic, like titties. What was the second one again?
The second one was a Florida woman pays pole dancers to distract officers to rob a Bank of America.
I'm gonna go with that one, distracting the pole dance distraction.
You have won our round.
Oh! I don't know why I knew the prosthetic titties was it, because I think I might have seen that during my day job, honestly.
I think me and you spoke about it too as well.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
So I get a prize. My prize is gonna be telling the story of the location reveal for when I moved to Florida.
Yes.
And listeners, ghouls, ghoulies, ghoulettes, and everybody in the in-between spaces, you get a prize too by the end of this because you'll get a very fun picture. In 2018, my husband Eddie and I decided we were going to make the big step to leave New Jersey. So we were trying to figure out where we were going. I was applying the jobs in all these different states and places. So we decided we were going to be a little quirky about it. Once we knew where we were going, we were going to have a location reveal party. So think a gender reveal party, but for moving to a different place and not for having a baby. So Eddie and I picked different pictures for, the different locations. So one of the locations was Maryland, because that's where his family is from. So I picked a picture of a crab holding a knife.
Oh my gosh.
Big Maryland energy. One was DC, specifically Washington, DC. And it was a bald eagle in distress, like a bald eagle getting arrested, which... foreshadowing. One, we were if we can't leave and we somehow stay stuck in New Jersey, New York, we got to have a representation for that. So at that time, Pizza Rat was very mimetic and popular. So I had a picture of the pizza rat climbing up the stairs with a piece of pizza. But of course, I'm doing this podcast here with my friend. So where I ended up. Just the picture.
Of course, our beautiful little...
Our gator wearing an Easter bonnet with a mouth taped with duct tape.
Yep. Full on display. Happy Easter gator.
Mm-hmm. And with that, I'm afraid our adventure with Florida Man comes to an end.
That it does.
But those aren't the only stories we have for you fine listeners. We are going to be delving into some of the most treacherous places known to the human mind. Reddit stories.
Ooh, yep. You either get the best stories or the worst stories from there.
And sometimes peak commentary. Come on back for Tales from the Internet, Part 1.
And thank you for joining us on Where the Ghoulies Spill the Tea.
Sip, sip.
Thank you for staying after the show. Here are your bloopers. We'll see you next Wednesday. Of course she's making confetti out of the box.
Why are you like this? Go. Make confetti out of the box further away from the mic, baby girl. I'm so sorry. I thought your face wasn't going to be there. I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm so sorry.
No, now she's going to jump on me or she's going to try and go for the closet. One of the two.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Kitty. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible guest.
Oh
Cat. I'm the worst, guys. So, again, I see that we're recording. And we're probably not going to air this. Or maybe we will as a blooper. But if we do, Jessica, I have to let you know. I have to let you know that I have been getting recommended Leon Kennedy thirst traps since Resident Evil 9 came out. And in addition to getting thirst traps recommended, I am now getting ads for leather harnesses for men.
You know what? As you should, and your husband should be having one already.
First of all, he doesn't have one, which is, criminal. Second, it's our 20th anniversary coming up.
Oh, he's getting one.
He's getting one. The thing is, how do I measure this man for a harness without letting him know that I'm measuring him for a harness?
Easy. Tell him I want to get him a vest for the wedding.
Oh, See, this is why you need to talk to your homegirls about getting your man a harness.
Yeah, we just have to make sure that he doesn't listen in on this episode. Or I don't put it in the bloopers.
I mean, it's... By the time I order it and it comes in, this episode will have likely aired.
So not this week, by next week.
Yeah, because our anniversary is... So I'm talking about our get-together-versary, which is in mid-March.
Oh, yes.
Mid to late March.
Yes, that is true.
Really, it's an anniversary gift for the both of us.
When isn't it?
Isn't it? Those are the best ones, baby.
Oh, man. They truly are. Let's
see.
hold up. Ah! How do I? Wait. For those that have. My nose! My nose! What the fuck is this?
It's not Vicks Vapor Rub. I'm telling you, if it was Vicks Vapor Rub, your nose would be cleared by now.
It's a vapor inhaler.
But it's off-brand. It's not. I don't see Vicks on it.
You know what? You're right.
I don't see Vicks on it. Por eso está estúpida así.
You know what? You are right. I should have got to Vicks, but I didn't buy this. My grandma did.
¿Qué?
Yeah.
Una abuela te dio algo que no es Vicks.
Sí.
Well, we're just learning all kinds of things today, listeners.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think my husband calls her the traitor?
¿Qué? And I cannot stress this enough. Pena. ¿Qué pena? And 30-year-old, gonna rewind. Cathinones. I got it. Typically, fuck. That's not actually a thing. This is me panicking reading the name. Okay. Methyl and a deoxypyrovalerone. No, fuck. I don't think I say it. It doesn't rhyme with pepperoni, Melanie. Okay. Supercalifragilistic. Typically, methyl and a deoxypyrovalerone. Fuck. Okay, that's two. Okay.
That's two.
Beautiful. Okay. It is. She's checking my pronunciation. Yes. This is the difference between some of you taking a drink on number 2 and some of you taking a drink on number 3.
I'm very upset.
Rude. How dare you?
All I know is I'm gonna have to cut this part out. No.
Oh, dog, no, we don't want that. Nope. Valerone.
Hey.
Okay. I think I gotta say it at least once more time. All right. I'm going to start the sentence over. Mm-hmm. And we're going to count it as a 4th time. Okay.
Okay.
Pipidrol. Okay, that's 1. And products labeled with the same name may also contain derivatives of pyrovalerone or pipidrol. I'm saying it a 3rd time. And products labeled with the same name may also contain derivatives of pyrovalerone and... Can you believe I said and instead of or? That one counts. Scientists are inclined to believe that bath salts have a powerful addictive... addictive. How did I get that one wrong? We're counting that.
It's because of all the other big words.
I was so ready. Okay. Cause stimulant effects by increasing the concentration of monoamines, such as dopamine, serotonin, and I'm taking that one again. All right. They are generally less able to cross the blood-brain barrier than amphetamines due to the presence of a They are generally less able to cross the blood-brain barrier than amphetamines due to the presence of a They generally... I forgot the R.
I was holding that in, trying not to cough when you were talking.
Oh, baby girl. Yeah, sippy. Sip the tea. Spill the tea.
Listeners, I am currently drinking Lipton Zero Sugar Green Tea Mixed Berries. Very good. I would recommend. Good for soothing a throat that is coughing like a mad lad. I may start coughing in a bit now. Again.
Do the best you can, honey. And the game is basically 2 truths and a lie, wherein we are going to read 3 different Florida man headlines to one another. The catch is, one of those headlines is not real. But because Florida man
blooper.
So